Hi, Michelle. How
Hi,
are you? It's good
I'm
to
doing
see
well.
you.
Good to see you too.
It's fun. I think we've seen each other a couple times in Dallas, but other than that, I don't know that we've ever been in the same spot together. And kind of everybody right now, everybody's all over the place and not together. So that's why these talks have been so fun because we kind of get to see each other and see your face and put your face with your work. And so it's
Yeah.
so where I know you're in California.
Mhm.
Well, first I should say Michelle Fleming,
Yeah.
Little Bird Designs.
Yes.
Okay. And where are you coming to us from?
I live in San Diego, California, and
Ugh.
my sister and I live in a house together. I'm divorced, and so it's her and I and my two daughters, and we just have a blast living together and sharing space together.
Oh my gosh, how fun. Were you close when you were growing up or?
We were off and on. We've had rough patches, and we
Sure.
never thought that we could ever live
Well,
together.
that's what I was wondering.
But my brother passed away
I'm sorry.
about 8 years ago, and that really he had cancer, and so going through all of the cancer stuff with him really brought us even that much closer together. And then after I got divorced, she was like, "I really miss you guys." I'm like, "We'll move down here," and so now we live together.
That's so good. So, and I think you mentioned to me that the name of your company is actually the name because your brother gave you that nickname.
Yep.
So,
His nickname was Redbone and my nickname was Little Bird. And so
oh,
when I decided that I wanted to start a needlepoint company, I that seemed like the best name for it was Little Bird Designs.
so sweet. So, from the beginning, so how long ago was it that you started the business?
I've been designing canvases for about 7 years. Well, so my grandfather was a painter and
Okay.
he taught me how to paint. And my mom is a prolific needlepointer. Like everything
Really?
home is needlepointed. And
Okay.
and so she taught me how to stitch and just built this fire for needlepoint inside of me. And after my brother had passed away, my girls were getting a little bit older and they were going to start going to preschool. So my dad actually, I had worked as interior designer before, but I knew that going back to that, and it just would not allow me to be the type of mom that I wanted to be.
Mm.
And so I was trying to figure out what I could do other than that. And he's like, "Well, you love needlepoint and you're always talking about how there are hardly any younger people in the industry. Why don't you try painting some canvases and see what happens?" So I did that. And I went to Destination Dallas was the first show that I went
Huh?
to 7 years ago and just loved it. And so
Mhm.
I've been doing it ever since.
That's amazing. And I actually, I was noticing your necklace and I remember, I think you either had that on at Destination Dallas or you had it stitched or it's wonderful. So do you just have it with a ribbon?
Yeah, it's like a little ribbon tie behind me, and then it's like a collar necklace. So it's flat on the back,
Oh, it's fantastic.
and it just lays, and it's like it. I have about I think 7 different needlepoint necklace designs, and they never sell very well. I'm always surprised because I love them, and one of the reasons that I design stuff is because I want stuff that's not just a pillow.
Sure.
Pillows are great and wonderful, but I wanted to try to bring something in that would be more usable and
Fresh.
just
Mhm.
something different. And
Mhm. Mhm.
so I designed 7 of them. One of them was actually designed by my oldest daughter when she was 5 because I had the template out on our dining table, and
Uh-huh.
she came over and was like, she just started sketching with colored pencils, and I was like, "That's fantastic!" So one of them is hers, and she's subsequently designed 5 canvases that I have.
Really? In your lines, 5 of them are hers? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Do you have that noted on your website? Do you do
It'll say one of them is Kathleen's octopus, and then
okay.
there's a son with a bow tie, and in the description of the piece, it says, "This was designed by my daughter."
I love that. That's so cool. So then do you take her sort of like coloring page or whatever it is, and then you translate that then to the needlepoint, painted on the needlepoint canvas?
Right. Yeah. She's not quite. She's tried to paint a couple canvases herself, and when it's large blocks of color, it's fine. But with the
Little
stitch
stitch
painting,
painting.
it's
Mhm.
too hard for her. So I typically, and because I want my designs to be accessible to every level of stitcher, I try as
Sure.
much as possible to make my design stitch painted.
Right.
So like, she does the sketch and then I paint it out and I make sure that it's cool with her because I don't want to, you know, mess up
You
with
don't
our
want to
text.
affect the integrity of her artwork,
Exactly.
I understand. That's serious business. So backing up just another step, because I was listening to your whole, I kind of started you at the bottom, but so you started stitching when you were a little girl with your mom, is that right? Or so about how old do you think you were when you started stitching?
Let's see, we started with cross stitch.
Okay.
And I was probably 8 or 10. And then
Gotcha.
I didn't pick up needlepoint until I was about 16. That's when I started doing needlepoint. And then I went to UCLA for school,
Okay.
for college, and I loved this shop in Santa Monica, and they hired me for part-time work and to do their windows. And
Nice.
so that really got more into it because Susan Portra was the teacher there. She's an amazing, amazing talent.
No
And then
kidding.
the owner of the shop, Monica Taylor, she's also an incredible stitcher. And so I just really like honed all of my skills with the two of them. I was
Gotcha.
very fortunate.
So you started stitching at 16, you went to college. What degree did you get at UCLA?
I got a BA in art history.
Oh, cool. So then from there, it sounded like maybe you did some interior design after that?
I did, yeah. So after graduating, I went through a interior design program that the extension at UCLA had, and ended up working for Kelly Wersler, who's like super famous now for her interior design. She's amazing. If you guys don't follow her, follow her.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna write that down. Spell that last.
Incredible. She's got books out. She's got properties all over the world. She's a huge inspiration still with the way that she plays with color and texture. And I try to bring a lot of that into the stuff that I stitch also, with like the way that I blend spaces and the way that I mix colors. And yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So then you did that for a few years, had some kiddos, kind of went through sort of some life changes, it sounds like. And then you said your dad encouraged you to launch this company.
Mm-hmm.
Going strong ever since. About how many pieces do you have in the line now? Do you know?
I have no idea.
No, I
know it's like probably around 200.
Is that right? Wow.
Oh, because I have a ton of like little the 3-inch round ornaments and like the 3-inch square ornaments, and I think I probably have about 200.
Wow, that's awesome. So, and you first went to Destination Dallas and launched your pieces there, and then another year passed and you went to Destination Dallas again. Is that right? Or
yeah, so I've gone to Destination Dallas every year I've been in business, except for last year, because last year I was in a teaching program to get a multiple subject credential. So I'm a teacher too.
I was gonna say, oh my gosh, you have this awesome product line. You're going to Dallas, and you're also a teacher. When did you go? Did you go back and get a certificate at some point, or how does that?
So I just finished the program in, in June. I got my official credential. So
Congratulations.
And I spent the whole last school year as a student teacher in a middle school here, and I'm going to be working full time for that middle school this coming year. So I'm really excited because it's a great school.
So you said middle school. So then you focus, are you teaching art or?
I wanted to get a multiple subject credential so that way I could have a range of the different subjects that I wanted to teach. And I would love to teach art, but I'm going to be a humanities teacher next year. And I'm really, really excited about that. And I think I'm actually even more excited about that than art teacher, because then I get to part of the reason that drew me to teaching is that I want to help students find their voice. I want to help young people find their voice. I want them to know about their history and the history of the world and their country. And so in order to do that, humanities is where it's at. And so I'm really, really excited that I'm going to be a humanities teacher for 7th grade next year. And yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. So do you suspect that you're going to try to maintain the business too going forward? We hope. We're all keeping our fingers crossed.
Yes.
Good.
I am going to hopefully be able to devote summertime, especially to creating new designs. But sometimes it's just I just get inspired. I'm like, okay, I'm going to paint something. So they might be coming out here and there. Also, I do have a mailing list that you can sign up for if you want to know through email, like when I have new products. Because of my teaching schedule, it's going to severely limit my ability to go to trade shows. And that breaks my heart, because I love going to the trade shows. I love seeing everybody's new stuff. I love chatting with people. It's so great. I love, like, it was hard making the decision to have my stuff available for retail on a website, because I'm such a tactile person and this is such a tactile art that, like, it was hard for me to offer it that way. But I found that I wasn't able to reach enough customers by just going through the trade shows and just being in stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have other products. I have like t-shirts and notebooks and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna really miss going to the trade shows, but I'm hoping that I'm still gonna be able to go. I mean, we don't even know when we're going to have trade shows next.
That's the truth. Yeah. I mean, here we are, like, lamenting that we can't go in September, but maybe there won't be one in September. Who knows?
Yeah.
Weird industry. Well, the world is just weird right now. So
Yes.
Don't know. But I'm with you on the tactile nature of this business, and being able to pick threads and look at colors. And it's very important to do that in person, which I think is one of the reasons why our industry is doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
We need, I'm all for the online sellers, but then you need me essentially to help you find threads and the right color that goes and the textures and all of that. So, so that's why it's been so wonderful that our stores are back open. Well, at least mine is. I think some people are still struggling, but
well, and it's great to have, like, it was never my intention to open it up to retail and, like, cut out the shops. The shops are essential to our industry. You cannot have something like this and not have a physical place where you can go. And so, like, I'm so grateful that there are still so many shops that are open across the country and across the world. And, like, there are so many different levels of learners. Like, there are fantastic YouTube videos out there that give instructions on how to do things. Yes. However, I could watch YouTube videos all day and still not understand it. Right. So I love going into a shop and being like, okay, show me how to do this stitch, or, like, working with the teacher, or, like, those kinds of things. So I'm so grateful that there are still so many great shops and that we see new ones opening also. Yes. That's incredible.
For sure. Yes, I agree with you on that. So I'm going to tease that out a little bit. So are you kind of a basket weave stitcher? Is that what you prefer to do? Or do you prefer decorative stitches, or kind of where are you at in that world?
I love it all. I love it all.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll, like, do a piece and I'll make it really wild with decorative stitches and beads and ribbons and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm over this. I just need to, like, mindlessly do some basket weave.
Sure. Yeah.
So I do all of it, but I have a hard time stitching without bars.
Okay.
I am amazed by the incredibly talented people who can stitch something beautifully without bars, and it's like a big, like
yeah, it's all clumped up.
And then they unfurl it. I'm like, what the heck? My stitches could never look like that. Or my thing would be so, like, out of line, because I'm a really tight stitcher. So
okay,
I am, like, on the bar train for sure.
That's hilarious. So that's good to know, and there is that whole big debate, like, bars or no bars. So and I really do think it depends on not just your, like your level, like whether you're, like, an experienced stitcher or not. I really think it depends on how you work, and if you're right-handed or left-handed, and if you're trying to hold things. And so, yeah, that's good to know.
Like, there's so many different things that play into it. Yeah.
Very
There's
cool.
no better or worse. It's just whatever works for you.
Well, and I would, I totally agree. So I was, speaking of your 200 designs, a second ago we were talking about that, but so I was on your website trying to put together an order. And so one of the reasons why I reached out to you for the podcast this month, although we're ending, is because this is Pride Month. And as I talked to you, I feel like, unfortunately, Pride Month hasn't gotten as much play as it normally would have, because of the COVID-19 and because of everything that's going on in the Black Lives Matter movement and all of that. But I do think that it's a very special month for us to talk about and for us to celebrate. And what I noticed, and the reason why I contacted you, is because you have this wonderful canvas that is a rainbow and it says Pride. And you're giving, I think, at least some of the proceeds to a charity. I didn't ask you to do this, so I'm going to put you on the spot. You don't happen to have that sitting with you, do you?
I do.
You do? Oh, yay. Oh, good. Thank you.
I brought a bunch over to sit next to me so that I could have it
yeah. Great.
So this is the canvas stitched. My mom actually stitched this version of it.
Oh, wonderful. Wow, that's beautiful.
She did a great job.
And is it on 13 count, Michelle?
It is on 13 count.
Great.
And so, yeah, so I made it a rainbow because of the pride flag. And
Sure.
I also, the proceeds go to an organization called the Trevor Project.
Yep.
And what they do is they provide support for LGBTQ plus youth who are dealing with any kind of like problem, whether it be mental, physical, everything. They're like a hotline that people can call in and receive support at 24 hours a day. I chose that because I myself am bisexual. My sister is a lesbian. I know a lot of people. I have very good friends who are in the community, and I wanted to do something. So many times in like June, we see a lot of stuff with rainbows on it. In October, we see a lot of pink stuff, and people like want to support those causes. They want to support LGBTQ communities. They want to support breast cancer in October, but so many of those products are just lip service, or they're just like, oh, it's rainbow, and it doesn't actually go to the communities that it's supposed to be helping or celebrating. And so I wanted to make something that was pride, but was also like actually helping the community. And I think that it's especially important to point out that like pride was started by Black trans women, and Stonewall riots were but Stonewall happened because of Black trans women. And so I think that it's fitting that it's happening in this month that is Pride Month, that like there's so much social activism out there about voices that are not typically heard from being heard from. And so I'm really grateful that you saw this and that you wanted to amplify it as well. And I appreciate so much like giving me this platform as another way to reach out to people to say like, hey, this is a really important cause, and you get to make a beautiful heirloom piece and support an amazing cause. And all of the proceeds from the sales of this Pride canvas go to the Trevor Project.
Well, I think it's a beautiful opportunity for people to support the LGBTQ plus community. And I want you to know, I haven't had a chance to I'm going to order a bulk of them. We have an area in our shop that's, I call it For a Cause. So we've got multiple canvases that the proceeds are supporting some sort of a cause. So, I'm going to do that. And I just appreciate you taking the lead on that. I think it's important for people in our community to, I don't always know what to do, but I can follow your lead, So I really appreciate that.
Because like so many times, like we want to help, but we also don't want to like lean on our friends who are the people that are like doing the hard work. Like I don't want to be the person that's like creating more stuff for them to have to do.
Exactly.
For me, I want to educate myself on it. And if this is a small thing that I can do to like help more people educate themselves about LGBTQ plus, or like help kids get help youth get help, I'm all for it.
The other piece that we've been talking about a lot in the shop, because of a lot of the social activism, as you put it, which is a great way to say it, and because of the coronavirus and quarantine, suicide rates have gone up, and but needlepoint is a great outlet for people. And we've been busy, and I think it's because people are so isolated and they're just trying to like keep their minds busy. And so I think that we often forget, this is such an industry, and this is like, I'm doing this every day, you're doing this in addition to teaching. It does, us supporting this industry is a way for people to clear their heads and to, have a moment to kind of like think. And I also think that having a canvas to stitch will help us to kind of meditate a little bit on the social activism piece of this. So again, I just really thank you for doing that. You're so far the only one I've seen. And so anyway, I appreciate that. So I just wanted to be sure that we pointed that out, pointing it out, sorry. God. I didn't even do
all of the little needlepoint stuff, we can get it.
So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that people knew that we were hoping to kind of highlight that piece in this podcast this month, this week. So anyway, so are there any other pieces in your line that you just love that you have there, aside from the gorgeous necklace? But is there anything that happens to be like your favorite or something that you're especially proud of?
So I have another donation canvas, and I couldn't find the finished piece of it. I actually have 3. So I do have, let's see. The first donation canvas that I did was for City of Hope, which is a medical center that my dad and my brother both went to for cancer treatment. And they are in Pasadena, California. And it was featured in Needlepoint Now in like March of 2017, I think.
They all run together now, don't they?
Yeah. So all of the proceeds for that canvas go to City of Hope. They also do AIDS and diabetes research. And then I have another one.
So what does that one look like, Michelle? Is it?
So it has a border. It's on 13 mesh also, and it has a border around it that's just solid, like rectangles of teal and blue, because those are the City of Hope's colors.
Oh,
and then
cool.
it says hope, and then a line, and then fear. So it's hope over fear.
Yeah, we used that as the promo photo. I think you.
Yes, I'm holding it in that. Yes, that's right.
Yes,
so that one is
very beautiful.
And then this one is also a canvas.
I have to tell you a funny story about that, and I kind of honestly sort of forgot about it until just when you held that up. So someone finished that piece and sent it to us to become a pillow, and we have a man who is a pillow finisher, and he was like,
"You didn't get it." Ovaries are stronger than balls.
I mean, we got a good laugh out of it, but that's actually a wonderful piece too. What do you support with that canvas?
So that one the proceeds for that go to the Period Movement, which is an organization that helps make sure that all menstruating people have access to supplies for when they are on their period.
Supplies, sure. Yeah, that's
in a bunch
especially important in, I've learned that's especially important in low-income communities, because kiddos don't want to go to school, or so that's a really important movement also. So, gosh, Michelle, I had no idea you were just so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. I knew some, and I'd read about you, and I knew about your designs, but this has been a really great conversation. I love it. Now, I always ask 2 questions. One is, what is your best seller?
My best seller, I have 2 that are my best sellers, and they're both a little, sometimes they could be offensive. When I first started doing them, my mom wouldn't let me put it in the window at Dallas. She was like, "You're going to offend everybody. You cannot put this up." But because I'd had it in the window the night that we were setting up, and then the rest of the weekend, people were like, "Where's that canvas? Where's that canvas?" So this was it.
Oh, that's wonderful! Are you kidding? I love that.
So that one.
So that's a good seller. Okay.
Tied with this one.
Oh. Remember that. That's a great one too.
Those are my 2 best sellers.
So how have you seen those finished? Have you seen, like, I'd love to see a clutch.
Yes. So I like want to make this into a clutch, but I'm worried because of the white background.
Oh, so much handling of it.
But also, so I'm thinking of Shanna, I think her name.
Oh, SPT?
Yes. So she posted a gorgeous acrylic box that she had. Is it Robert with Creative Acrylics?
Bruce. Creative Acrylics. Yeah.
Creative Acrylics. It was finished. The finished canvas was like on the top, and then there were little drawers. I was like, oh, that would be cool, because then it would be protected. And then it's something that, like, I kind of feel bad taking it out in public and be like, there's kids that see it, or So that way it's like I still see it every day, and it's my reminder to not be an animal.
Yeah, that's right. And it would be nice if you could tell those middle school kids that, but at the same time, it might not.
I'll get fired.
Administrators probably wouldn't like that so much. So those are your best sellers. So what about the dog? What's the worst seller? What doesn't sell?
The necklaces. These.
Oh, right. You mentioned that. Okay. Well, I'm going to get a couple of those in the shop too. I love necklaces. So I'm doing the statement earring lately, but the statement necklace is So we need to get those out there. And so then what's your favorite? My guess is it's one of the special ones that you did for your family, but
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. So here's another one. This is another one that caused a bit of a stir. So the Christmas that I had was the first Christmas with my daughter, my oldest daughter. My brother asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I said, I'd really like some nice frames so that I can frame a photo of Kathleen and put it somewhere nice. So he went and he bought me this beautiful frame with like silver all over it. And in the center of the frame, he drew his own card. And I made that, you know, like how there's usually like a family or something. I made that into this canvas. So this is, that was.
That in the center of the frame?
That was in the center of the frame. So I still have the original that he did. And every Christmas I put that in the frame and I leave it up. It's not Kathleen anymore. It's Merry Effing Christmas. And
oh my gosh. That is so
so that's probably my favorite because of the sentimental value.
Right. And is that part of your line? You people
Yep.
try that? Oh my God. That's a good one. That's fun. Because again, I probably couldn't have that in my house because I've got a 7-year-old and they'd start asking questions that I don't want to answer. But
You don't want them going around to people wishing them a Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's been
that's good.
like designing these things and my daughters see them. And when I first did Bitches Get Shit Done, they were like 5 and 3. And so I was like, they're like, what? Luckily they couldn't read. But as they've gotten older and they're reading, they're like, don't be an asshole, Mom. That's not nice. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry.
Don't.
For 7-year-olds.
Just don't. And don't say it either. Don't say it at school.
Don't be it and don't say it.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, is there anything else that we haven't talked about? I usually try to keep this to about 30 minutes. I don't know if we're quite there. I didn't look at my watch when we started, but this has been a really fun conversation. Is there anything else that you haven't told us about your designs or about your work that you want to share?
No, I think that's everything. I think that we covered a lot, that like so much of what I'm doing is driven by trying to make it needlepoint more accessible to more different types of people. And so like by normalizing periods, by supporting the Grow Care and the period movement, and by like incorporating different types of designs that represent different communities, I'm hoping that will help to encourage a broader audience to come to needlepoint.
I appreciate that. There's actually been a lot of discussion around people of color in needlepoint, and we're struggling with that, I think, right now, as far as just, you know, people seeing darker skin in canvases. And so I hope you continue to think about that too. And maybe Definitely. Anything on the desk you want to tell us about? Sometimes we try to say like, got a new secret. You want to tell us what you're working on?
I am trying to finish. I have a very large handbag. I have like 5 different handbag designs that are really big. And one of them is a purple background with gold birds on it.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm trying to finish that. And when I'm done with that, I want to move on to like more like Kimberly inspires me so much. And I'd love
Kimberly Ann, do you mean? Or
Kimberly Ann, yes. I'd love to try to do more pieces that are like more mixed media also, like almost what she does. So I'm trying to come up with some canvases that might be a good medium for that, for like the way in which she does such spectacular stitching.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about, no, are you talking, which Kimberly are you talking about?
It might not be Kimberly Ann. I'm trying to think. She does like a lot of butterflies.
Are you talking about Kimberly Ann who passed away and now her sister Candace?
Not that one.
Okay.
Shoot.
I'm sorry. I'm taking you
Instagram right now and trying to remember her name.
It's okay. But so you're kind of thinking maybe with more embellishment.
Kimberly Smith. Smith. That's her name. I apologize for the confusion. Okay. Yeah, so she does like really wild I don't know how this is going to translate through Zoom,
Oh,
but
yeah. Oh, wow.
they're like super three-dimensional, and it's just really incredible stitching. So I want to try to do some pieces where it and a lot of my pieces would be okay for that, because I have a lot with like big blocks of color where it's more like experimenting with different fibers. So that's something that I want to try to delve more deeply into.
Well, and I think I see even on your necklace, I think there's some sequins, maybe, at least what I can.
Yeah, so it's
So it's good.
Sundance Designs little sequins and beads.
Yeah, I love that. And is that turkey work in the yellow, or is
Yeah.
it pom-poms? Okay, wow.
Turkey work also.
You go, girl. That's my least favorite thing.
So messy.
And I just don't have the patience right now. Oh,
it's tedious.
gosh.
The next time I might just stitch down some pom-poms.
There you go. See, mixed media. Perfect.
Yep.
It's right in line with your business goals. So that's great. So I have a tiny little, I always try to end with a little lightning round just for fun, because why not?
Yeah.
So the question is chocolate or vanilla ice cream?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. And what about fancy stitches or basket weave?
Fancy stitches.
Yeah. Oh, I'm such a basket weave girl. I hear you. Beach or mountains?
Ooh. Mountains.
All right. Really? Okay. Being a Cali girl,
I think it's because it's in the ocean all the time. So.
Right. You want a little change of pace. Yep. And then wine or beer?
Wine.
All right. I like it. Well, I don't have anything else. It has just been a real pleasure to talk to you. And I personally am going to be in touch about some orders. And I hope that you sell a ton of those Pride canvases. And thank you so much for being so honest and sharing all of this with us. We really appreciate it. So
thank you for creating this platform and inviting me onto it. I really appreciate being showcased and being able to chat with you. I don't think we've ever talked this much, and it was a real pleasure. So
Isn't it? I know, it's super great. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you again in person sometime.
I hope so.
Okay. Bye now.
Thank you.